Destructions in the world. Topic 15 of 95 plus changes in the LDS Church. 95 Thesis by Ogden Kraut. He will thoroughly purge his floor, and gather his wheat into the garner, but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. Matt 3:12. But as it was in the days of Noah, so it shall be also at the coming of the Son of Man. Matt 24:44. Insver. And thus, with the sword and by bloodshed the inhabitants of the earth shall mourn, and with famine, and plague, and earthquake, and the thunder of heaven, and the fierce and vivid lightning also, shall the inhabitants of the earth be made to feel the wrath, and indignation, and chastening hand of an almighty God, until the consumption decreed hath made a full end of all nations. D.H.C. 87. 6. Joseph Smith warned the saints that God will gather out the saints from the Gentiles, and then comes desolation and destruction, and none can escape except the pure in heart who are gathered. D.H.C. 252. We are called upon to come out from among the wicked, as it is written, Come out of her, O my people, that is come out of Babylon. What is Babylon? Why, it is the confused world. Come out of her then, and cease to partake of her sins, for if you do not you will be partakers of her plagues. Brigham Young, J.D. 12. 282. This land is blessed above all other lands. It was foreordained to be the gathering place of the saints, where the Lord would hide up his people until his indignation should pass over the nations of the earth. Heber C. Kimball, J.D. 952. Am I looking for famines? Yes, the most terrible and severe that have ever come upon the nations of the earth. These things are right before us, and some of this people are not thinking anything about them. They do not enter their hearts. Heber C. Kimball, J.D. 520. It will be war of neighborhood against neighborhood, city against city, town against town, country against country, state against state, and they will go forth destroying and being destroyed, and manufacturing in a great measure will cease. For a time, among the American nation. Orson Pratt, J.D. 20, 151. 30. If this is the case, and if we are not sanctified and gathered to the places God has appointed, with all our former professions and our great love for the Bible, we must fall. We cannot stand. We cannot be saved. For God will gather out his saints from the Gentiles, and then comes desolation and destruction, and none can escape except the pure in heart who are gathered. Joseph Smith, D.H.C. 252. God will pour out his vials of wrath, and distress the nations till they will learn and practice righteousness, and his people must flee to their appointed hiding place till the indignation is overpast. Otherwise they have no guarantee for their safety. Mill. Star 9. 310. The subject and practice of gathering is a great stumbling block to many who make but a partial investigation of the gospel as revealed through the prophet Joseph Smith. For, say they, cannot God save me as well in my native land, as in the land of America? Why is it necessary for me to leave the lands of my fathers, and take my journey to the wilds of a distant continent? Doubtless the Lord could do many things which he never will, and there is one thing for certain he never intends doing, that is, to save a man who will not strive to save himself, by rendering obedience to the principles laid down in the gospel. Mill. Star 39. 212. Today, President Kimball said, as we have told the saints in Europe in hundreds of meetings in many different locations, if the saints in Europe will remain in their lands, the kingdom can grow and prosper, and God will bless them, and that how. Improvement Era. December 1955. Read the rest of this book for free on the Zion's Redemption Bookstore page on Facebook or at ogdenkraut.com.